Hello and welcome to another video. It's OT19 or OT Gamer 19,000 and today I'm standing on business. Why is Wizards of the Coast so afraid to make monks good? For no reason monks should be as bad as they are. Heck, it's breaking the rules and patterns set by Wizards of the Coast. For example, monks only have a D8. Okay? How weird. Almost every single martial class has a D10. You know, whatever. Maybe they have some really good defensive things that would help them. Let's see. How's their armor class doing? Oh, their armor class is tied to wisdom and dexterity modifier. And if you're using the Wizards of the Coast approved stats at levels 1 through 3, or maybe even level 4, you'll have a 16 through 17 AC. An AC that paladins, rangers, fighters, and any other class can easily reach or beat. Okay, maybe they have some really good defensive abilities. Yeah, they have evasion, which the rogue has. Okay. Oh look, they have evasion. That's what the rogue has. And the rogue has a low hit dice, and and the rogue's fine. But the thing about the rogue is, they're built to be using stealth checks every turn, so then they're hidden. The monk does not have any stealth checking ability. Now, another reason why the monk is just poorly designed is because you need a good dexterity, wisdom, and constitution. Now you may be saying, oh, then the monk must be a spellcaster, right? Because paladins and rangers both need 3 stats, but they all have spellcasting. The monk has no spellcasting or any subclasses that use spellcasting. Now, another dumb thing is, these two classes have a D10 hit dice. The ranger has a D10 and the paladin has a D10. But you're telling me a Shaolin monk that are made to be human weapons only has a D8? Huh? In what world do we live in that a monk is less tanky than a ranger? In what world do we live in that a Christian mother could have the same amount of HP as a Shaolin monk? Human weapons. I do not understand why Wizards of the Coast is so afraid to buff the monk. And the thing is, the monks have so many other problems outside of the ones I mentioned. Now, let's get into their damage. Now, the main way monks do damage is by attacking with light weapons and their unarmed strike. So now you may be thinking, okay, light weapon, standard weapons, whatever they're called, friggin' simple weapons. You know, they're not the most powerful. But the thing is, the rogue only ever uses simple weapons, but it has sneak attack to augment its damage to make it actually strong and good. What does the monk have? An extra D4 all the way until level 5 of extra damage per turn. And it costs a bonus action. Sneak attack is completely free and can deal freaking, I think, 2d6 until level 5, where it does. No, I think at level 5 it does 3d6 if I don't stand correctly. No, I'm gonna check right now. I'm gonna check because this is how important how bad, just to prove how bad monks are. So completely for free without having to use an renewable resource or as any actions. All they have to do to get an extra 3d6 damage is just hit with one attack that most likely will have advantage. I gotta sip water. Make sure to stay hydrated. It's just, and then level 5 they get a D6. A D6? Are you kidding me? A D6 damage is so pathetically weak. An extra D6 that costs a bonus action that you have to roll to hit. Are you serious, Wizard of the Coast? Are you serious? A bonus action that I have to roll to hit is doing 1d6 damage alone. When your main weapon is only dealing a d8 maximum or d10. I hit my mic. Sorry if you heard. I don't know if you did. A d10 maximum, and that's if you freaking no. It's a d8 unless you do multiclassing, which you shouldn't have to multiclass to make a base class good. No other class in the game requires a multiclass for it to genuinely be good, but the monk does. Me and my friends did a test. We compared a 14th level monk to a 7th level monk with 7 levels of fighter. And my fighter, monk hybrid, with 7 levels of each, outperformed the level 14 monk. Heavily outperformed. And also, Wizard of the Coast has the gall to tell you, through level 5 through 10, you only have an extra d6. So by level 10, when fighters are doing 15 attacks, paladins are smiting 19 times in a turn, and barbarians are taking half damage on every attack in the game, aside for force damage, monks only are doing an extra 1d6 damage per unarmed strike. Now you may be saying, oh, monks have flurry of blows. Flurry of blows cannot be used every turn. Because for some reason, the Wizards of the Coast decided it's a good idea to give monks ki. Now you may be saying, ki is basically what monks use to use every single one of its damn features. That's not even hyperbole. For almost all of these subclasses, all you see here, all their features take ki. You may be saying, oh, monks must get a ton of ki, because if it sounds like they need a lot. They get equal to their level. So at level 3, when you have your subclass and so many other things you can do with ki, you can choose in a fight to use your subclass 1 or 2 times or flurry of blows 3 times. You can't do both, which is so obscenely stupid. It's just, I don't understand what Wizards of the Coast was thinking when making the monk. They needed Tasha's Cauldron of Everything gave them dedicated weapon, a feature they can't use unless they multi-class. It gave them ki field attack. This feature sucks balls. It requires ki. Obsolete. Immediately, it just sucks. It's just garbage. It's bad. Ki field attack is just bad. Quick and healing's only good if you're using it on a short rest, if you even have any ki points left. And knowing a monk player, unless you're playing extraordinarily conservatively, you're gonna waste all of your ki doing monk stuff. And don't even get it started on Stunning Strike. Stunning Strike is probably the biggest cop-out I've ever seen in my life of living. Let me drink some more water. And holy hell, Perfect Self as a capstone feature is the worst capstone in the damn game. There's just so many problems with the monk. But you know what? Let's compartmentalize a little bit here. Let's get into how bad the subclasses are for the monk. All the monk subclasses, all they provide is just an other way to steal the monk's ki. That's all it does. All it does is allows you to cast reflavored spells. It costs you 3 ki points to cast Hold Person at 6th level. So you have to use over half of your ki points to cast Hold Person, which, you know what? Oh, that's such a good, because I want to bring up Hold Person too, but that's for a later point. So you know, we'll just put a pin in why that is the stupidest thing I think I've ever heard in my damn life. But you know, we'll just put a pin in that. At 5 ki points to cast Stone Skin, and Stone Skin is a 4th level spell. It costs 5 ki points to cast a 4th level spell. 5 ki points. 2 ki points to cast Thunderwave. I feel it's just 4 ki points to cast Fireball. I don't, at 11th level too, you can unlock Fireball. At 11th level. So, it's fair. when all other half classers get access to third level spells at level 9. But no, the monk has to wait an extra 2 levels to unlock. How? How did the monk make it past playtesting? How did people read the monk and genuinely think it was good for press? It's just there's there's no way that someone could read this and think it's good. When you compare it to something like the fighter, when the fighter gets the most ASIs in the game, when in reality the fighter does not need so many ASIs. But the monk desperately needs it. The monk wants to have 3 good stats. But the fighter seemingly gets ASIs when it only needs 2. The fighter only ever needs 2 good stats, but has the most ASI in the game when monks have the standard amount almost every other class has. The monks don't get any extra ASIs when they are the class that needs it the most. But no, the fighters get them. What? And also, outright, unarmed fighting. Let's a fighter do the same amount of damage with an unarmed strike a level 11 monk can do. A level 16 monk and a level 1 fighter with unarmed fighting do the same amount of damage using unarmed strikes. You are beyond idiotic to not take 7+ levels of fighter if you're playing a monk. I think honestly just don't even play monk. There's no reason to play monk. When fighter can 1,000 times better do its flavor. Can wear heavy armor. It can wear plate armor. It can have a good constitution. It can do a butt ton of damage using its bare hands. Every single thing that the monk wants to do but can't do at all. And also, don't get me started on the facts that the monk's bonus action has already been weaponized to the point it can't be used for other cool combos. Also, let's not talk about the fact that monks can't use any martial weapons. You're telling me a Shaolin monk can't use a glaive? Or a sword? Monks just don't have no knowledge of how to use swords or glaives. Are you kidding me? How do you look at what monks are in traditional media? How do you look at what monks are how do you look at what monks are and genuinely think they can't use swords? Human weapons! Because that's what monks are at the end of the day. They're human weapons. They're literal human weapons. But they can't use a glaive. Okay, okay, that's for the fighter. Now, you may be saying, oh, but the monk has a lot of attacks. It can use Flurry of Blows every 3 milliyears, because if it's using its subclass features, it can't use Flurry of Blows. Those are not interchangeable. And also, one thing, the monks have 0 help when it comes to feats. Poison Kate, Sharpshooter. You can take a -5 penalty to range attacks and add a +10. And then Wizards of the Coast, knowing that feat exists, knowing it's a feat anyone can take, with no restrictions at all, released the Gloomstalker class, which grants an extra attack on your first turn of combat. And Rangers are very much prioritized to use bows and arrows. So Ranger can use Sharpshooter. And also, fun fact, the Rangers have one of the most broken spells in the game in Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark, every time you land an attack, you get an extra d6 damage. So no, you don't have to roll. You don't have to roll for an extra d6 damage. If you hit your traditional attack, or your first attack, you just get an extra d6. Basically, the monk's unarmed combat, but just better. And now, since the Rangers can make 3 attacks, all with Sharpshooter, and then also, If they were to use Crossbow Expert, they can be having 3 attacks, all with Hunter's Mark, for the rest of the combat. Just getting an extra additional 3d6 damage. Plus an extra 30 with Sharpshooter. So they get an extra 30 and 3d6 damage for completely for free. But monks can never see any of that if you're doing a base monk. Now, if you multi-class with monk, then yes, the monk can get Hunter's Mark, but it can't get Sharpshooter, it can't get your Weapon Master, it can't get any good feats that increase damage. Shield Master? Nope, you can't use that. Nah. Great Weapon Master? Nope. Polar Master? Nope. It just makes so little sense at the fact that the monk is just so bad. The only martial feat a monk could take is Sentinel. That's the only feat a monk could take is Sentinel without it just being absolute dog water. There's no feats a monk could take that could genuinely make it brain dead broken. And that's a good thing. I don't want it to be brain dead broken, but when you have things like the Paladin that just completely eradicate the monk in every single category, it makes you think, why? And I have the answer. Well, at least what I think is the answer. Stunning Strike. This move, this ability, I would prefer if it just gets removed from the game so then Wizard of the Coast can make monks good. Because Stunning Strike is a trap. It is a crutch the size of a Funko Pop. It's not a big crunch. It's just because DMs have one bad experience with it and think it's OP, it's broken. And trust me, it's not. Now let me pull out my spectacles and get to reading. Stunning Strike. Starting at 5th level, you can bunch of yapping. When you hit a creature for melee weapon attack, you can spend 1 key point to attempt a stunning strike. The target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of your next turn. Constitution saving throw is the most common saving throw in the game. Constitution is the saving throw that all monsters will be good at. It is very rare that Stunning Strike is a Constitution saving throw from Stunning Strike is ever failed. It is very rare unless the monk wastes all of their key points using Stunning Strike. And then the next time they can't do anything. Which is just so bizarre to me. And the fact is, yes, the Paladin is known for being Novas. But when a Paladin Novas, it still has extra attack. It still have its old features. It still has a fighting style. It still has its spellcasting. It can still have his freaking absolutely brain dead broken aura protection. It can still have great weapon master. It can still have all of these things. But when a monk wastes all their key points, what do they have? 1 extra bonus action unarmed strike that until level 17 is under a D10. What's the point? There's no point to the monk. Now you may be asking, oh, Polar Master. It's a very well-known strong feat. And it only gives you bonus action D4 damage. In reality, the only reason why Polar Master is good is because Polar Master counts for Great Weapon Master. So you can use your bonus action attack with your Polearm and still use Great Weapon Master. So in reality, it's a D4 plus 10, which will always be better than a straight D10 roll. A D4 plus 10 will always be better than a D10. It always will be. So, Stunning Strike, aside from the fact that it's a pure Nova ability that, heck, you probably won't even land either way. The Paladin has Stunning Strike, but better. And it doesn't take it's the only resource the Paladin uses for all of its abilities away. It doesn't. Because Paladins at level 5 can learn the Hold Person spell, which, if you don't know, let's read it out. The target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make another Wisdom saving throw. On success, the spell ends on the target. This, first of all, Wisdom is a way more common stat for monsters to fail. Most monsters have a low wisdom because they're dumb or stupid. Most most spellcasters have a low wisdom because they're usually intelligence based. But the thing is, every single monster has a high constitution. Spellcasting enemies so they can succeed under con saves. Monsters because they're just naturally bulky. Everything has a good constitution save. Not everything has a good wisdom save. Heck, a lot of I bet if you look up a lot of the monsters or beasts, they don't have a good wisdom save, but they probably have a good constitution, but their wisdom is probably weak. So now you're saying that a level 5 paladin twice a day can cast a hold person spell that probably will be better. That probably will do better. And the monks can cast Stunning Strike, which they can do it 5 times a day. They can't cast it. They can do it 5 times a day, but they have to hit attack first. Then they have to succeed on a saving throw. Then they have to hope the monster doesn't have a legendary action. Then it doesn't have to hope they're not immune. There's just so many hoops that they have to jump into just for Stunning Strike to work. And also, Hold Person, it can be used on multiple people if you upcast it with more spells. You don't have to do anything. And Hold Person, a paladin can cast 2 times, and by them doing that, it won't affect their damage. It won't affect their aura of protection. It won't affect anything the paladin has. It only affects their spell casting, which this paladin doesn't use spells for damage. For smites. But hey, a level 1 smite can still do hella damage. Throwing away level 2 slots for a paladin, yeah, you don't want to, but it doesn't matter. But for a monk, throwing away your key points is the dumbest thing you could do. Key points matter to a monk. But for paladins, spell slots don't really matter that much. Finally, my final point to why the monk as a base class is flawed. One level of Hexblade Warlock can unironically make monks so much superior, it's genuinely insane. Now you may be asking, what does a Hexblade give a monk? First of all, it gives them the shield spell. Now, what is the shield spell? Well, the shield spell is you gain +5 to your AC, which, you know what? Monks will have a low AC because it's tied to 2 stats that aren't commonly, picked. So you know what? The monks will have a bad AC. So being able to get an extra 5 is massive. Also, the monks will be able to get Booming Blade, which at 5th level can do an extra 2d8 damage. At 11th, 3d8. And at 17, 4d8. But finally, I think the most damning thing is the fact that a monk can get Hex. Now, I may be asking, what is Hex? Hex is basically Hunter's Mark, but it has a different side ability. So I'm telling you, as a monk, the most optimal monk possible is just a couple levels of monk. I'd say maybe 5 to 7. 8, so you can get an ASI, because monks desperately need ASIs. One level dip into Warlock. No, okay, 2 level dip. 2 level dip into Warlock, so you can get 2 spell slots. 2 level dip into Warlock. And then finally go to Rest Fighter. And then you will get an average character. Yes, you heard me. Average. Not OP, not game-bustingly broken. Average character. I'm a fan of the monk. And seeing them just get toyed around and pissed with and just treated disrespectfully, it sucks. Because I'm a fan of the monk. I love the monk. And the fact that it just becomes this laughing stock because of how poorly designed it is. It genuinely sucks. But yeah, that's all for today's video. I hate to end it on a bad note, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tomorrow I'll try to get up the Thief Rogue. But yeah, overall, just very disappointed with Wizards of the Coast. Very disappointed.